Welcome back. I hope you are doing great. In the conceptual class, we understood how empty space is different from null. Let us extend our knowledge with the hands-on. As a part of the previous video, I have already created a table named employee 6. Let us look at the data. Okay, these are our records. Let us go ahead and insert couple of records into this. So first I will insert a employee ID with 7. See here in this particular insert, I'm not inserting a null value. I'm inserting a empty space. How am I doing it? I'm saying insert into employee 6. That is the name of the table. I'm saying values. 7 is employee ID. Employee name, I'm giving a space in a double quotes. It is an empty space. Then age is 45. I don't know who is going to be that person. Then salary is 50,000. Let's go ahead and insert it now. Okay, we executed it successfully. Let us see how the data looks like now. Look at that. Here, this is not a null value. This is an empty space. If I go ahead and count on this particular column, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to count on employee name. Ideally, what should happen? Should we get the count as 6 or 7? We'll be getting the count as 7 because empty space is not equivalent to null. Okay, let me execute. If you see, the count is 7. So empty space is also counted. On the other hand, if you insert the null value and look at the count, let us see how it behaves. I'm going to insert one more record with the null value. This time, I'm not inserting the record with the empty space. I'm inserting the record with the null value. Let us go ahead and execute this. Done. If I go ahead and check, this is how our table looks like. So we have 8 records. Within that, we just inserted the 8th record. 8 null 45 40,000. 7th record has an empty space in a EMP name column. 8th record has a null value as a part of the EMP name column. Now, if I go ahead and count the values in a employee name, what should be our count? Is it going to be 7 or 8 or 6? So it is not going to be 6 for sure because we just understood that even this value is also be counted. Then the question would be, is it going to be 7 or 8? It is going to be 7 only because whenever we are counting on a column, null values will be ignored. Let us go ahead and do that. It is 7. If you want to check on a different column, we can do that. In this case, we have 20,000, 28,000, null, 0, null. What should be the count of a salary column? It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Null value should be ignored. Let us do that. Instead of employee name, we'll give a salary. There you go. But if you count on the whole table, null values are considered. We are not bothered about the null values in a single table. So we will go ahead and count. It is 8. Let us insert a record where all the values are null values and see how it behaves. So let me do that now. Insert. I'll say null, null, and null. Okay. I'm inserting all the values null here. Employee ID cannot be null. Why is that? Because employee ID is a primary key. So apart from that, if I go ahead and insert employee ID, I'll get as a 10. Each cannot be null because while creating the table, we have made that as a not null. What we'll do is we will create a one more table called employee 7 and take out these constraints. Ideally, we should make one of the column as a primary key, but that is not mandatory. I'm just removing that primary key because the moment you say primary key, we need to have a value in that. I'm creating a table called employee 7. Let me go ahead and create this. We created it. Now let us insert some data into this. So I will go ahead and insert the data, same data. I'll do some modifications here. I'm saying say employee 7. Okay. I'm inserting some 5 records. Okay, done. So if I say select count star from employee 7, my count is 5. Now into this table, we'll insert all the null values because it will allow us. There are no constraints imposed on this. It is only to check whether all the null values are considered while counting the whole table or not. Only to check that we are inserting all. Yes, it got inserted. Now I'll go ahead and select star from employee 7. There you go. We have all the records in the 6th record are having null value. If I go ahead and say count star on this table, is it going to be 6 or 5? Ideally, it should be 6. Let us go ahead and do that. Select count by 7. This 6. So while counting the table, even null values are considered. But while counting the column, null values are ignored. For example, if I go ahead and count on the salary, we should get only 4 as the count. Let us go ahead and do that. Instead of star, I'll say salary. There you go, 4. Awesome. We understood how empty space is different from null value as a part of this video. Thank you.